Hello, my name is Mike the Fish, and welcome to another build video. This time, the Tempest, the Booner Tempest build. So this is kind of similar to a lot of builds out there. Kind of based off of Auramancing, but just with a slight twist in my own sort of take on it. And let's see what you guys think. So for weapons, we have Dagger on main hand, and we have Warhorn on offhand. Why will become quite clear later on. Obviously with Tempest, so we've gone for Wash the Pain Away, very strong heal skill. Heals enormously for your whole party. This is currently selected the wrong thing, I'll put that back on the right thing. Flash Freeze we've got. Applies Frost Aura to your team and starts putting the boons, and we'll explain why later. Feel the Burn is another aura, another fire aura. And Aftershock. Essentially this is to give you as many auras as possible. What you can do is if you need DPS, you can change this out for Glyph of Storms and then use it while you're in air achievement so that you get like massive damage and that pulsing vulnerability that's very nice from Glyph of Storms. If you don't need Reflection, then replace Aftershock. If you do need Reflection, then replace Feel the Burn. And then for the elite skill, we've gone for Rebound. Very nice skill. When it doesn't rebound, it puts an aura on, which is very nice because we're basically working around auras here. So that's the skills. So for equipment, we're not going too far off the meta here, boys. It's just Berserker all the way. Berserker, 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 Berserker. I do have an Assassin's Warhorn because like it comes with set stats that you can choose Assassins, but Berserker here works just as well. Sigil of Force, Sigil of Accuracy, I'll just like those two sigils in general. Sigil of Air obviously works very nice here as well. And then for the rune set, I've gone for Rune of the Pack. Two reasons for this. First reason is this is a boon sharing build, so having that 25% chance to grant nearby allies Fury, Swiftness and Might when you get hit. It lasts 10 seconds and the cooldown's 20 seconds. You're in melee using a dagger here, so you're going to occasionally get hit. When you do, you're applying more boons to your team, and it's just a very efficient rune set as well. With that 125 precision on the 6 bonus, you can see you get your crit chance up to a very nice level. So that's the gear. So onto the traits, and here's where I differ from a lot of Auramancer builds out there. So the first thing you'll notice is I've gone for Earth, Air and Tempest. There's no water magic here. So you're thinking, well, how do you share your auras out? I'll explain why I've gone for this once I've gone through the traits. So we'll start with Air. Auras grant Fury and Swiftness when applied. This is a big part of how you keep Fury on your whole team, combined with the Rune of the Pack. You are the person providing Fury for your team. So that's that. You get Swiftness as well as a nice bonus. Surround yourself in a shocking aura when disabled or stunned. This is nice. You can trade this out if you like for gain precision while it's into air. You could even switch it out. I mean, this is a dealer's choice right here. You can pick what you like. I've just got this as a free break stun. You can see when I first started this video, I had this selected Armor of Earth because I was in an area where I needed another break stun. This allows you to just... It makes me feel better about not having a break stun on my bar. So, and then Bolt to the Heart. Very nice DPS increase. These traits on every profession that has these. Very nice. For Tempest, I've gone for apply Vigor in a radius when attuned to water. You can pick this. I mean, it's again dealer's choice. Overloading an attunement. You have tons of auras here. Access to another one, I suppose, is always nice. So you can pick Unstable Conduit, or you can pick Apply Vigor in an area. Here, I've gone for Tempestuous Area. If you've got someone else supplying Might to your team, you might want to go for Auras Apply Regeneration and Vigor instead. So that just like adds to the number of boons you get every time you pop an aura. But that's a very nice thing for getting weakness on the enemies and a small amount of might every time you use one of these shouts. And then auras you apply heal your allies. Apply frost aura to yourself and nearby allies when struck below the health threshold. So you're giving more frost aura to your team. That's always good for the minus 10% incoming damage, and you're doing healing every time you apply an aura. Most of this healing is applied to yourself because of the build we've gone with, but it's a nice trait, and it's better than the other options. So, and here is where the change is. So I've gone for Earth here, and primarily it's for this trait right here. Grant protection when applying an aura to yourself or an ally. So the idea behind this is when you apply an aura, you get protection. You get fury and swiftness from this, and protection from this. You can keep very high uptime on this because of some of the skills in Warhorn, and I'll explain that later. So here, another dealer's choice. I mean, this will be a very slight damage increase. Stability when attuned to Earth, or here I've gone for U cover from crippling, immobilizing, chilling effects more quickly. You don't have to switch into water so much when you need to clear conditions. Take less damage when you're close. Very nice for dagger builds. Get close, take less damage. And here I've gone for Stoneheart. Another dealer's choice here. Mostly you go into Earth for this trait here. They've got no signet, so this is written stone's no good. Diamond skin is one I also like to use quite a bit. You're going to keep your health up fairly high a lot of the time, so not taking damage from conditions. That's nice. Also, like having that extra defensive power when you switch to Earth is nice as well. So it's another dealer's choice option, but the main trait in Earth is elemental shielding, and we'll get on to why. So I've come to the open world to demonstrate this build. Essentially, I've come here instead of the training dummy because it gives you a better idea of what this build's for. I think everyone who plays Tempest has an idea of what kind of damage a full Zerk Tempest can actually do with dagger, and this essentially does that while boon sharing. So I found an NPC that will happily accept boons I give it, just to demonstrate it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use some damage spells, but we're going to like just get through the combination, and then I'll explain afterwards. So we're going to use the overload just to demonstrate, we can still do some damage. Maybe throw in a burn here. Wait for the fire overload. Use Warhorn 4 in fire, and then use Warhorn 4 in earth. So you can see we're doing reasonably decent might stacks. Obviously our shouts are even recharged now, so we, in the second rotation we'd be reapplying that might. The fury is very obviously permanent. The swiftness is very obviously permanent, and we're giving this all out without aura sharing. So how are we doing this? Well, I looked at aura builds, and I thought to myself, how do they work? So most of them use water magic, and there's a trait in water magic called Powerful Aura. When you apply an aura to yourself, grant that aura to nearby allies as well. And then you can run this with auras, grant fury and swiftness when applied. But then I thought to myself, well, I really want to run that with this and with elemental shielding. And there's no way to run those two and water magic without dropping Tempest. And Tempest is a big part of the build because of the shouts and the might stacking. And then I realised in Warhorn there are two very, very useful skills. And it's Warhorn 4 in Fire Attunement. Give stacks of might to yourself, then spread the boons you have to your allies. and Warhorn 4 in Earth. Apply protection to yourself and your allies, then increase the duration of all boons currently existing on you and your allies. And it gives you an aura as well. So the idea being, you don't need to share auras. You put the auras that give you yourself the boons, you share them, and then you lengthen them with Sand Squall. And that's not even the best part about it. The best part about it is that you don't even need the aura share from water magic to share a lot of auras. All of these shouts naturally share the auras that they give, including rebound. So flash freeze, if you need a moment, if you need some time when your team needs to take 10% less damage, you can pop that. If you need refraction from projectiles, you can pop aftershock, like cleverly, rather than spamming it just like I did. And you don't need aura share in order to give these auras out in this build. So you can run. Elemental shielding, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, elemental shielding and Zephyr's boon in the same thing. Like, I'm giving all these boons out, quite handily. I'm still doing my damage rotations, putting a ton of might out. This is a very damaging skill as well. Putting out a ton of protection. You can see here just how many boons I'm putting out on the enemy. I've managed to pull something poisoned me. I'm not really sure how. And that's without aura sharing. And personally, I feel this is just a much better way of playing an Auramancer. Is giving the auras to yourself and sharing the boons with your team. It just seems more sensible to me. Yeah, that's the build. That's the gist of it. One thing I realised I forgot to mention was the food I'm using and the consumables I'm using for this build. So we are sharing boons. So I'm using a bountiful sharpening stone, 10% boon duration, 100 power, very good for this build. And fried golden dumplings, 20% boon duration as well. These two gives you 30% more boon, keeps that protection up a lot more, and that cannot be underestimated how important that is. And it's very nice sharing out permanent fury, lots of might with your team, but it cannot be underestimated how much sharing out protection helps your team. A minus 33% damage reduction most of the time. If you're running with a Revenant in your team and you've got Faceted Dragon, as I mentioned, this is almost permanent you're putting out. And for you, it's because of the way protection works on a Tempest, you're actually taking 40% less damage. When you have Frost Aura on, you're taking 10% less than that, so you're taking 50% less damage. Elementalists are really squishy, so taking 50% less damage is nice. It's generally a very nice side effect of this build. It's a very nice survivable Elementalist as well. So, thank you very much for watching my Booner Tempest build. Tell a friend.